What I'd like to do is introduce the subject tonight. I'm really excited about this subject because we mentoring the mentors, we're creating an agenda for the mentee. This is week 8. I can't believe we're already at week 8. The agenda should be helping the mentee achieve better behaviors, better skills, better beliefs, which will help them move forward in their lives to achieve their goals. Now, when I got thinking about this, boy, I tell you, I got excited because this is what we really do as mentors. We help them achieve their goals and help them become who they're supposed to become. So setting goals, what do you wish, desire to be different in your life? You know, a lot of people, they're stagnant in their lives, they're not moving forward, they're going to work every day, coming home, slipping on the couch because they're not excited about life anymore. It's just become humdrum. And what we need to do is see what they wish or desire to change their life. Clarify what you desire, why they desire this goal or change in their lives. Put the goal in writing. You know, way back when I was like 17 years old, I learned to write down my goals. And you know what? They happened. Make a visual of the goal. You know, visualizing the goal makes it even more real, more powerful. If you can visualize it, it's actually a higher form of faith. And it will move you forward and create it faster. That's why we prefer doing vision boards, because boy, I tell you, since I started doing a vision board, my goals and everything come in faster and faster and faster. The goal is achievable, not in the fantasy zone. So we as mentors have to help our mentees, direct them so that they don't make too lofty of goals, because if they're too lofty, they'll be very hard to achieve and become discouraging. And we want to encourage them to make small changes that will make big steps in their lives. So start with a smaller goal. Kind of get a feel for what kind of person your mentee is. If they're a go-getter, maybe they can have a little higher goal, but start with short term, not so far out there. You know, I like to, when I'm mentoring people for 6 months, I like to achieve 3 things. Because if you can achieve 3 things, you've shifted them a huge amount, believe it or not. And so consider having a goal, saying no to something you want to stop or end. Like, you know, a lot of smokers, they continue doing it and then they stop for a while, and then when the reason goes away, they start up again. So, you know, considering having a goal, saying no to something you want to stop or end. Developing an ability to achieve a goal is not just to get things. Developing these goals is to help them move forward in their life. Not necessarily, you know, a huge thing, but boy, I tell you, if we can move people forward, get them thinking outside of their current box, they will see things in a whole new light. Think about when you woke up, how everything in the world changed. Everything you viewed changed. And that's what we want to do for these people, is wake them up. Setting and achieving your goals. This is one of the reasons why we get to know them using this method. This has the top 8 main things that people care about in their lives. And we want to set a goal where they want to be. But then when we actually choose the goal, we choose one that they want to work on the most to start. And we look at their stoppers and we help them envision the action steps to get going. So it makes a lot of sense to use these things. Okay. Vicki?
I'm ready.
This is not working. So setting and achieving the goals this is a diagram that shows how you start out with helping them make a goal, and then you help them train to shift their consciousness so they can start getting ahead toward the goal. And then you have question and answer period where you ask them what they've been doing. You know, you test, measure, and adjust the entire time that you're teaching them. And you get a question and answer period, you know, because sometimes they'll go, well, you know, I don't quite understand this, I don't quite understand that. And we can help them get beyond the questions, and then we'll go into the next step. Now I'm going to go through each of these with you. So the next step, and then once we get their next step toward the goal, we'll start tracking them, and they will track themselves. And we'll help them track themselves so they can be moving forward every day. And then they report to you what's happening. And then you test, measure, and adjust. And then you either reset the goal, because if it looks like it's just too much for them, you kind of back off a little bit and set a little smaller goal, and then you keep going. But boy, if they're reaching their goal, you just help them start going towards another goal once they achieve that. So this is very cool. Problems with achieving goals. A lot of people don't even know what they want, and that's why we need to help them wake up. Worried about what others will think. How many of you have worried that once you do something, what they'll think of you? Your family will think of you, your neighbors will think of you. You know, when Vicky wanted to build this current house, you know, we wanted it to not be real expensive, so we picked a goal. We wanted it to only cost $380,000 to build. And Vicky kept it right in that budget. I mean, we did not go above that budget. But our house ended up being pretty nice because her dad's the builder, and so we got a really nice house for a really good price. But, you know, if we'd have worried about what others thought, we would have never had what we have. So now the other problem we have is, am I worth it? Now last week we talked about the worthiness, self-worth, and how that comes from our relationship with our parents, God, with food, you know, all these different things. And so we need to get rid of those self-worth issues. And is the effort worth the goal? You know, sometimes people go, well, geez, I don't know if it's really worth that. And if that's what they're saying, we need to measure, adjust, and change what's going on. What will others think about me if I achieve this goal? You know, I totally shifted. And a lot of people go, well, Scott, I liked you better when you were just doing your intuitive readings, you know, but now I'm trying to wake people up and get them prepared for the ascension. And so, you know, I can't care about that anymore. I've got to do what I've been told to do by St. Germaine and the Ascended Masters. So I don't even think about what others will think about me. Is it legal, moral, and ethical? Always, you know, make sure that when you're creating goals with your mentee, make sure that they're, you know, within the guidance of current law and everything. And if you're not sure, find out, you know, contact somebody. We all know lawyers, we all know legal people, because it's a big system here in the United States. So we need to make sure that it's legal, moral, and ethical. Okay, we need to improve our psychology and skills. 80% of what we achieve when we make goals is your mindset. I want this. And if they don't really want this, then we need to help them decide what they truly can, want, and achieve. Okay, so 80% is the mindset. And this has been proven through studies, all kinds of stuff. And as a mentor, we educate and we create an environment where they can learn and we help them learn what they truly want and how to get there. And we're teaching you guys those methods. That's why we're doing this. So we help with motivation and empowerment. We help with let go techniques. You'd be surprised how many emotional difficulties people have with moving forward in their lives. They've had all kinds of things happen that keep them so they won't even look further than they can see. You know, a lot of us have had a lot of stoppers, and so we find out those stoppers and we teach them let go techniques, and that's going to be one of our lectures about these let go techniques. 20% is the skills we excuse me. Always have a drink handy. Let go techniques is very important. 20% is the skills which we as mentors help them achieve. So if we can get their mindset going that they want this, we can help them develop the skills where they can achieve what they're desiring. Create safety by clarifying the topics of discussion. You know, sometimes people get out on tangents, and we need to reel them in, bring them back to what the goal is. So we listen to all of their questions before answering. So a lot of times we'll ask a question, or they'll ask a question, and we don't listen to the end of the question. So use silence as your helper. Silence is a gift of true mentors. So as they're explaining something, we need to not jump in and stop them until they're complete, till they're done with the question or the idea that they're having. And then once they're done, if we don't understand it, we need to ask them to clarify, because if we're not clear about it, they're probably not clear either. So it's important to listen to the whole question before you're answering, and if you're not understanding the question they're asking, you need to clarify. Track and record the questions, because maybe there's a question you didn't quite know the answer to, but during the week you can pray, meditate on the question, and tell them, you know, I'm not really sure what to do with that, but I will pray and meditate and have the answer for you and let you know as soon as I come up with the answer, either by texting you or emailing you. Okay, teach back and praise. A lot of times people don't, you know, they'll nod their head, you think they're getting it, but they really aren't. And so we need to ask them, teach me what I just taught you. And when they bring it back, if it's not exactly what you taught, reteach it. And once they bring it back in, that it's correct and it's what you taught them, praise them for what they've done. We as human beings, we love to be praised. And when you are with a mentor, you love to have your mentor be proud of you and give you praise. So be good with praise, but make sure they can know what you've been teaching them. So have them teach you back. For the world to change, I need to change. For the world to get better, I need to get better. I know I'm saying this all the time, but I tell you, that's what we've got to do. We've got to change ourselves. We've got to make ourselves better, and that way we will make the world better. I just gave a talk up in the mountains in Colorado, and one of the things Jesus said to me, in the fifth dimension, we don't want a bunch of unhappy people up here. We want people who are happy, dedicated, motivated, and so when we go through the ascension, we don't go up there and just create a disturbance. We're actually happy, we're motivated, we're doing what we're supposed to be doing. You know, a lot of people think heaven, you're just up in there singing and being on a harp or whatever. But you know, they're constantly trying to help us. So this mentoring is teaching you actually how to be an ascended master. And be happy. Be joyful. Create bliss in your life. Be the one you want to be. Because that's what the mentees will see, and they'll want more of what you've got. Okay, let's go to the next slide. Okay, where is your mentee in their life? Idea dump. You are the one to help them figure out the next steps. So you sit there and you give them ideas as you're talking. You know, what's going to be your next step? And they start saying things, listen to them, and then give them ideas. It's called an idea dump. And you help them develop skills to get through the next steps of achieving their goals. Identify role models. This is a good way of helping people get by and helping them with the next step, is let them know of other people who have done good, or if you've even done good to get by. Now, the people who are going to show up for you to mentor are the ones who need you specifically because of your life experiences. So feel free to use yourself as an example, or others who have helped you achieve what you've been able to get. So the role models, experiences, success stories, even the failures have taught us things. And so be free to tell them even of your failures. If they're trying to do something that you tried and failed, let me tell you, the best experiences say, hey, you know, I tried that and it didn't work. Track due dates to identify self-sabotage. So in other words, it takes 42 days to change a habit, to integrate a change in your physiology and your psychology. And so track how long everything is. By the 6th week, which is 42 days, they should be achieving and shifting their consciousness. And if they're not, we need to find out what they're doing to self-sabotage themselves from getting forward. Either they're not doing the work, or they're not striving. Maybe their mental isn't in it, their emotional isn't in it, and we need to shift the goal, because sometimes people just feel like, oh God, this is just too hard, or whatever. Education. Learn what to learn next, what to teach next, and you know, you only have to be one step ahead of your mentee each time you visit with them, because they can only conceive of one thing at a time, and if you give them too much, it'll be overwhelming. And you don't want to overwhelm your mentees. You want to help them achieve their goals, achieve what they desire. So we need to be ahead of the game and learning all the time. Record the dates, times, information, and their commitments. Now, one of the things that I found is, as a mentor, it's good to have something to do each week. Because, and then if they achieve it, great. If they don't, then stick with that same goal until they achieve it, or measure, adjust it, and change it if needed. But we want to help them move forward in their life and have positive experiences of moving forward. That's why you don't want too lofty of goals. Take notes, take pictures, help them by making recordings or even giving them these recordings. You know, I'm fine if you share my recordings with others. And St. Germaine doesn't want any of this copyrighted. He wants it out there in the world. So if you want to use this information, use it. Send them a text or a voicemail as a reminder. Hey, tomorrow we've got our mentoring. Have you reached your goal yet? You know, and see if they'll text you an answer. And be prompt for all your meetings. Be on time. Be accountable and responsible. Create a reporting agreement. Now, these reporting agreements can be very simple. You know, you can give them an assignment, and during the week, ask them if they reached that goal or that assignment. daily or weekly. I usually check with my people once a week, have them text me their information.